about comics. Can you believe that we're approaching 1,500 episodes? Um, if you count every episode, even ones that were like 3 minutes long or whatever, some that were under a minute, uh, I think we're at 15. Um, I always say if you put in all the live sales I did on Instagram and the like 15 or 16 lives I did on TikTok before it became quite obvious that it was just really random people coming in the middle of stuff. I have done 1,500 live streams, and I don't know how many of them I've stickered. I've definitely done this before, stickered some comics while talking on the live stream. This actually, what I've got in front of me are the last of the actual free comic book day books. I've got another stack, always intended for free comic book day, but they don't say free comic book day on them. They say Superman Day. I've got some Superman giveaway comics that they printed nice and cheap on cheap paper for Superman Day, April 18th. Hey Joe, I can't read that. 1,500, I know, right? Soon enough. Soon enough, the official number. Anyway, so I got that Superman stuff. There's one little stack of Superman for All Seasons, one little stack of their new Jimmy Olsen kids graphic novel, and then like 100 copies of All-Star Superman #1. Because like All-Star Superman #1. I think those will go very well, and they cost the same amount as these. This was humongous. Hello? Okay. This was a humongous part of today. I just sat and stickered. I stickered probably definitely over 1,000 comic books today. Started at home with a box that had been sitting here, and then in between customers and damage reports and this and that and blah blah blah, I just stickered. So it has been a very long day of that. I thought to myself, oh, you stickered a couple hundred comics yesterday morning. Why don't you had a long day, relax now. And I'm like, great, but I have to go do the live stream. And I kind of want to talk about some important things that pertain to Free Comic Book Day. So if I'm going to be talking about Free Comic Book Day, and I'm going to sit here talking, rather than eat something, which I did, rather than eat something while I watch something, I could sticker. So I am stickering because, as I just posted on our other social media, on our TikTok and our Instagram, it's so funny, I'm holding this up. I don't even have a free comic book day. Free comic book day, like the logo, free comic book day, the whatever. As far as I know, no longer exists as of the sale that went through yesterday, where the court approved. Doc, how many do we have this year? I think there's about 40. But I have a library and a school that order from us, and in some cases they took a vast number of copies of things, and there were books that I just didn't order. And more interestingly, to me at least, there were books that we did order, but with the whole diamond kerfuffle, ended up just not getting. Like Mad Cave moved to Universal. They were already at Universal, but they allowed them to sell in the U.S. So we're getting our Gotcha Man and other Mad Cave things that people order from them, but I never got the Free Comic Book Day books. That order got canceled over it. There were books that were... Right, well, so my point isn't that it wasn't sold with Diamond. Free Comic Book Day, the logo and all that stuff. Sorry, let me finish what I was saying. So yeah, I don't know how much is actually going to be there. If you come at noon, there should be around 40 titles out, but I wouldn't be surprised if you come at 1, it's down to 20 titles, because there's a lot of them we have very few of. I assume one of the two people, or the two partners who bought the sale of Diamond, who purchased Diamond comic distributors, is getting Free Comic Day. I just didn't see it listed in any of the things. Like, as one of them was talking about what they were getting, and they were getting Universal, the distributors I love, are getting Alliance Gaming. I don't know what that means, getting Alliance Gaming. Do they now own a company that operates in America, or do they now have the responsibility for all the things that, like, I don't know. And then the other one gets like everything else at Diamond. And they're like the real mystery company. But I didn't hear either of them when they talked about what they were excited about what they were doing. Free Comic Day mentioned at all. I believe that Penguin Random House likes Free Comic Book Day. I think most of the publishers like Free Comic Book Day. So with Penguin Random House being the home of at least 3 major IDW, Dark Horse, Marvel, Boom now. Boom is the distant, like, 6th, I think, in the whole industry. I think they will continue some kind of Free Comic Book Day, but I don't know. So we didn't even fill out the event thing on the Diamond page this year. I just felt like it was a waste of time. Last year when we went and tried to do it, they wouldn't even give us the option to move it to the 4th. To the Sunday, you know, the date was the only day it was on Free Comic Book Day, so I was like, I'm not even going this time. I appreciate Diamond. The more I deal with Lunar and some of the stores doing direct and things like that, like, I get it. I really understand a lot of what they go through. I don't understand how disorganized they are. I get it on a personal level, because I'm disorganized, but I can't understand how you could be a company that big, how you could be moving in the millions of dollars and be that much of a shambles. Like, I don't get it. Also, just a warning, my phone is probably not going to run very long. If I was paranoid, which I am, my phone has been drained significantly, and text messages have been coming in crazy late and out of order. And I would say my phone was being surveillanced or surveyed. But that's like, it's because I read too many Cory Doctorow novels and Neil Stephenson novels. But to me, it's like, well, that's what that means, automatically. Literally, a huge part of today trying to convince myself that I'm just a paranoid lunatic. Yep, Free Comic Book Day has been, Joe is like, stay on topic, stay on topic. Yes, Free Comic Book Day has been going on for 25 years. Joe Field invented it with the intent that there'd be new stuff. That's actually why these would not be Free Comic Book Day. They're straight reprints. New Comic Book Day, a company had to offer in the contract that Joe Field put together. You had to offer something new. It didn't have to be that it wasn't going to be published again. So you could do Dark Horse could do 2 stories, and those could be republished in Dark Horse Presents. But it couldn't be something that was already in Dark Horse Presents. Now, Marvel and DC would go and do a reprint and something new. But it became a big thing. But I'll tell you, when we opened, Free Comic Book Day was this massive, like, wonder. Like, it was the stuff that Boom, right? The Boom's doing a 20th anniversary book this year. I don't have it on me, but it's a little floppy comic. It says the 20. It's a logo they're using on all their stuff. It has a new Mouse Guard story. It has a new story set in some other universe, and a couple of little, like, reprint pages from other things. But they used to make, like, really nice books, like, with special binding, and they cost a bunch for us to get, so we didn't get too many of them. When they did Mouse Guard, had hardcover little free, like, it was a big event, and it's just become a thing that just happens, that we do. And again, some stores still make it incredibly big. Hold on, I'm just checking if I'm being called. Sorry. Some stores make it a really, really huge thing and do incredibly, and most of us make it a pretty big day. If it wasn't for my December 25th sale, it would probably be my biggest day of the year every year. I love Free Comic Book Day. I feel bad that I didn't do it up the way I have in the past. I mean, we're having like 6 people, 2 of whom are respected illustrators in the trade illustration world, meaning they get hired for advertising and from newspapers, and as well as students, one of whom I believe already has a book published, came out last month from a major publisher. Like, this is not nothing, and it's pretty cool. But it's not having 13 people. It's not having Ryan North. It's not having Kristen Gudsnock. It's not, we had, oh man, we've done some amazing free comic book days. We've had some real, I mean, Ryan North's up there, especially now as he gets more and more work. But we had Donnie Cates right before he exploded. We had Spike Trotman. We had Andrew McLean. Did we have Andrew in one of those? No, I don't think we had Andrew at a free comic book day. We've had some pretty amazing. I think Carla came to one. Carla McNeil came to one. We've had Alex at a couple. We've had a lot of great free comic book. I love free comic book day, but the world has changed, and I go on and on about this, especially here. But like, how people interact with retail locations has changed. How people interact with bookstores has shifted insanely. If you're not hosting tons of events and getting lots of different groups of people to come into the store for sometimes barely book-related things, music nights. Our local shop has a music exchange thing. You bring a record and you listen to different records. Oh, sure. No telling, honestly. But yeah, they do a lot of things that aren't book-centric to get more and more people into the shop. Whereas, sorry, I'm going to finish this point and then I will go on to what you're saying. Sorry, pollen here is terrible. Sarah and I are both like, she's like, the air feels poisonous sometimes. Free Comic Book Day is you want to read a comic? We have free comics. Like, that's really what it offers to people. So if you don't want to read a comic, if you go to a bookstore because of record exchange night, because you like hearing new records or kinds of music you never would have heard, you might buy a record there, maybe even a book. But if you go to a comic shop for free comics, first off, this has always been the case since I started. It's a vast number of people who come not to spend money. Their goal is, I'm not spending a cent. They will go, what else is free? Do you have free buttons? Is this free? And then they will buy maybe $1 thing when they see that there's a sale or whatever. Maybe they'll spend up to $5, like a little bit of pocket money they have. Which I understand. It's people on a budget. It's people who don't have a lot. I try not to push it. I try not to expect a lot from people. But one of the things that we used to do is, and as Joe, you well know this because I ship them to you every year, we keep a crap ton of comics back. Not like we hold them back intentionally, but by the end of it, we still have tons. And I give them out all summer. I can't. One, I can't give away as much retail as I usually do to that. I need to sell more stuff. We have less and less single issues, but people are looking for the same things. I had today and yesterday, most people come in asking what absolute Batman, absolute Green Lantern, what absolute number ones we had. So we have those. Got to keep them on the shelf. Got to keep them displayed. We can't have, too much. No, I'm not. No. Fie. A pox on you. Not on you. On Alexander Hamilton. Anyway, so Free Comic Book Day is definitely going to be a different thing from now on, and I think it already has become a different thing. I would have people bring people in on Free Comic Book Day and be like, hey man, you can get a free comic, you can try out, you can get something. And now it's more like, oh, I hope they have this one, I heard it's good. There's people, very few people, and then of course there's people who I tell about it. We give out flyers, Free Cone Day, who come in and go, they're really free? And you say, yeah, these ones that have this logo, they're free. They go out and then they'll bring like the whole family. It'll be like 5 family members, and most of them will take 1 or 2. They won't even take the 3 that they're allowed to take. They're like, yeah, I don't think any of them interest me. And it's like, okay, they're free. It's your choice. Anyway, I will end with a very fun story that makes me look good. So, best way to end. This guy was in, and he was asking about the absolute stuff. Do you have absolute Batman? Do you have this absolute, that absolute? Hamilton's pox has come and gone. Doc, Absolute Trades. I've mentioned it to a few people that it'll be available, and they're like, somewhat excited. But it's also not available until I think August, maybe July. So that's far off for some people. Um, yeah, Joe, and I think Batman especially is going to read better as a trade. I think Wonder Woman's going to read so well as a trade. Um, Superman, I'm not so sure how it's going to read as a trade because each issue's kind of lean but satisfying, and reading them all the way through, they might just feel like a little bare boned. Um, yeah, Ak is right, Doc. I think they're waiting way too long. I think there should have already been trades out, and there should be a deluxe hardcover in September. That's like the first 12 issues, along with the second trade. That's my thinking, but I don't run these companies. This guy comes in, and then he's like, also, he's showing his girlfriend, Absolute Wonder Woman's like, I really think you should read this. I really think you're gonna love this. I think and I'm like, it is the best of the bunch. She goes, I don't like superheroes. I don't want to read. And he goes, and he says, sorry, I was afraid my phone was dying. He says, well, I just want you to read comic changes. And I'm like, well, Absolute Wonder Woman is really, really good, but you kind of have to like know Wonder Woman and her comics to like get a lot of what's in it. But you can start with stuff that's just like whatever's interesting to you. It doesn't have to be superheroes, and then you can like read things and get more aware of what kind of comics are and what kind of things there are. You read more superheroes, and then you can read something like this and appreciate like how good it is. And he goes, yeah, well, she just likes like what's that, Tintin. And I'm like, oh. And he's like, yeah, and Asterisk. I'm like, oh, so you already know good comics. So she's like, what? I'm like, you grew up. She's like, well, my dad's like French or whatever, Belgian. And I was like, right. So you read great comics. You said, do you like that style? Is that? She goes, yes. And then I asked her what her interests are, and she spent about half an hour browsing through the crime and noir section. She liked Brubaker and Phillips. She liked a little bit of Rich Tommaso that she saw, and she was really interested. He was going around looking for more superhero stuff. He then asked me while she was digging through that if I had any Laura Kinney for the new Laura Kinney Wolverine series because he thinks she'd like her. And I'm like, well, I want to be like, the lady said she doesn't want superheroes, but it's his girlfriend. Yeah, I just like it's like I don't want to say anything, but I'm like,
she says you to get
superhero comics, right? So she decided not to buy anything after looking through the crime stuff for quite a while, and he bought that Wonder Woman for her to read, and for himself too, but for her to read. And it's just like, people. Yeah, there's my battery. My battery says it's close to dying, so I'm going to head out. But like, it's just weird. People say they want one thing, but then they really just want what they want. Anyway, doubt there will be an update tomorrow unless I just need to vomit everything I'm feeling as I close up with the store, hopefully ready for Free Comic Book Day. I will see you.
No time for that.
She's right. I will see you hopefully on Sunday. We'll try and do some level of live if whoever's doing surveillance on my phone hasn't taken me away to the camps.
Oh my God.
Sorry. I don't want to go to El Salvador.
Well, I'm not hot enough. I thought you went for 2 minutes.
I thought she was actually concerned about what I said, but it was her chili is not hot enough. Anyway, until Sunday, hopefully I'll see some of you there on Free Comic Book Day. We'll do a live stream from there. Remember, damn it, babies, you gotta be kind.